Gone out. Okay, well, guys, welcome to TOR Hangout number 6 with audio in my ear. Lots of technical difficulties. We've got lots of epic beers in the house today. First thing we have to do, off the very top of the show hangout round table, whatever we're going to label this thing, is no NDA breaking. None whatsoever. We like our friends at BioWare, and we like having access to the game when it comes out, so we will not be breaking any NDA. If you came here thinking we're going to do that, you're coming to the wrong hangout. We started using Google Plus to do these hangouts because Google introduced this really cool system, and it's been really fun. And now we're trying to get it to where more people can get involved because you can only have 10 people in a Google Hangout at a time. So here we are. We're on Twitch TV at TOR Hangout. Also, people can pay attention there. Let's go ahead and do the introductions. We're going to start at the very top, and Don, you just came in. Why don't you guys go ahead and say who you are, and maybe just really quickly what you're playing this week.
Oh, am I at the top?
Yep, go ahead and just introduce yourself real quick.
Hey, well, I'm Don, and I'm in a guild called the Katasi, and I think we're going to do some DVO this weekend just to sort of get to know each other.
All right, well, welcome. Eric, you're up next.
I'm Eric. Oh, man, you stole my thunder. Now everybody knows my name.
Oh, sorry.
My name is Steve. I'm Steve from Canada.
Hey, bearded red dude.
I'm playing Battlefield 3, which is not MMO related at all, but very gratifying. It'll hold me over next game until it comes out, I think.
All right. Next down the line, I'm going to let you guys do it because you can see it.
Okay, hi, I'm JJ. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I'm in my Halloween costume still. I can't take it off because I have helmet hair. Sorry.
And what have you been playing?
Lately? Bro, I'm just doing Dragon Age 2 still.
Okay.
But I'm going to be getting Uncharted tomorrow.
Wonderful. Johnny.
Hey everyone, it's Johnny. I'm with Sith Vengeance, East Coast Guild, and right now I'm playing Knights of the Old Republic. I was trying to play it on PC, and I was having some problems with that on Steam, and then I switched to playing it on Xbox, and back to trying to get it to run in the high def widescreen on PC, but having some trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, I ran into that as well. A lot of mods for it, but half them don't work right.
With your epic headphones. All right, Kyle, why don't you introduce yourself, my friend?
Sure, my name is Kyle Maxwell. I'm here in Dallas, Texas. The last week or so, I've mostly been playing Civilization 5 and Mass Effect 2. Finished another playthrough this weekend, so I'm getting ready for, I don't know, like my 5th or 6th playthrough on Mass Effect 2 coming up.
All right. Wonderful. You're up, Lewis.
I am Lewis, member of Redeemed. I am beard number 2 in this hangout.
Beard.
And yeah, so I think for me, it's just, this weekend I think I'm just going to be herding cats. That's my plan.
Herding cats. Okay. Melissa.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm a part of the guild Genesis at genesis-tor.engine.com. I've been playing, I played and beat Batman Arkham Asylum, and I'm thinking about going back and finding all the Riddler trophies currently.
Okay.
Halfway done.
I'm Mike Norton. I am the GM of Redeemed, and I have been trying to press and iron out all the technical bugs in my new i5 system so that we could get this online and streaming well. So haven't played much games at all, but that's what I've been doing. So next we have Scott.
Hi, I'm Scott. I'm avid gamer. I've been playing Rift, trying to wait for Skyrim to come out in 2 weeks.
All right.
Pass the time.
Very cool. Well, we've got 9 people in here, so we have room for one more. Anybody in the Twitch TV chat room, if you guys want to try to jump in, there is an invite out in the Google Plus stream for the SWTOR guys, and so come on in. It's been, I guess, kind of a slow week and not on news-wise for SWTOR, but first thing I wanted to do is give us a chance to look at one of the items that they talked about on Fan Friday, and then we're going to give everybody a chance to talk about a bunch of stuff. So, without further ado, this is going to be the first time we've done this. So everybody hold on. We're going to show a video. It's a 1-minute video. Let's see how this works.
Right. High tech.
As it locks up. Oh, dear.
Push the gerbils.
Oh, goodness. Chrome might be locking up on me.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
I got the whites.
You know how YouTube does.
Stuck with XP.
Blood, gore, mild language. Okay.
Oh, that's beautiful. Shockwave has crashed again. Okay, so at least the Hangout's up. I'm not going to worry about it. So forget that. Everybody's seen that Friday they released a new section on the website about warfronts, and it's really cool. It talks about the 3 warfronts that they've got in the system that we're going to have at launch. Those are... Let's see here. Hutball. Or let's start with Voidstar first. Voidstar is an assault style battleground. Think of Strand of the Ancients in WoW or Dustbowl in TF2. What do you guys? Anybody excited about that? What do you think about?
So is that going to be mixed?
No, that one's not mixed. That one's per side. So you've got Empire against Galactic, Empire against the Republic.
I'm pretty excited about it, coming from EVE, where there's a lot of large strategic fighting and PvP, but there's not. It's sometimes hard to find stuff with where you feel like you're fighting for a particular reason other than just to blow the other guy up. So I'm looking forward to it, even if it doesn't have any long-term implications. I like battlefields where you're fighting for something instead of just for kill stats or whatever.
Okay.
I'd be curious to see if it's going to be able to flip sides, because I know in the video they mentioned the Sith will be kind of holding, the Empire will be holding it, trying to keep the Republic in the video. I'm just wondering if at times flip it.
Well, yeah, on the write-up in the Holo system right now, it does say that once you go through the first part of it, if you're doing offense, it will then switch sides and you will then get a chance to defend. Otherwise, that's going to be a problem. But I like those kind of things. I'm actually one of the few people, I think, that likes the one battleground in WoW that has that setup. A lot of people complain about it, but I like the amount of time it takes as you get in there really quickly and say, okay, we're on offensive first. We need to push. The hardest part about those systems is you have to tell folks that are on defense, like, stop PvPing, just defend. Keep them from coming through. You'll get your chance later, and so I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
I know.
Yeah, I really wasn't a fan of Strand of the Ancients in WoW. If you're with a pug, like random people doing their own thing, I find it's you need to be a lot better organized if you want to work as a group. And in Strand of the Ancients, you've got your hold points and defend this and do that. And like you said, people just run around in PvP, and I always found that really frustrating. With a group of people working as a team, that was cool. Mm-hmm. But I can see this from being a headache or a frustration based on just how people tend to play when they PvP.
JJ, you're our big PvPer in the group. What do you really like all this then?
I like the format of Strand of the Ancients, how you're attacking once and defending once and all in one game. So I enjoy that. You don't get bored getting stuck the whole way in one side. Mm-hmm. Watching the video, though, the first thing I thought, though, when I first watched it the first time, I was thinking it was a big cluster. Like, I was going to say cluster F something, but you know what I mean? Like, all I saw was a whole bunch of lightsabers, a whole bunch of people. And my first thing was like,
What's going on?
Yeah, sometimes if I'm feeling a little slow, like, am I going to know if I'm hitting my own player or a Sith player? Because it's just a bunch of lightsabers, and when you have that many people, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and what's interesting is typically you would think, okay, if it's got a red lightsaber and you're on the Republic, go kill it. The only problem is you're going to have a lot of Republic folks that are going to want to use a lightsaber. And hold on, guys, we'll get it back in here. We lost the stream. The beauties of... I knew I should have used Firefox. Here we go. Are we back?
We're back.
Are we back?
Did that crash for everybody or just me?
Nope, everybody.
Yeah,
Wow, that was everybody.
I think the internet went down.
Epic!
Globally. This has never happened.
We crashed the internet.
Oh, so it wasn't just me.
No, mine just died too.
Somebody was thinking about breaking the NDA, and BioWare's trying to...
I wasn't going to break the NDA.
BioWare's taking us down.
All right, well,
Georg is watching.
as we were saying, the Voidstar, I'm really looking forward to it. I don't remember what I was saying. We'll try to do something. The next one is Hutball. Hutball is an interesting PvP battleground. Team-based football type thing. Think of, I put, Hutball, because it's really, I don't think there's anything else out there. But here's an interesting note that I discovered this week. That is, WoW in Mists of Pandaria is introducing a Murderball battleground. Dun dun dun.
Same thing.
Yep, same thing. So,
But is that going to be mixed also?
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. That's like,
Because I think for us that's pretty interesting. We're having mixed teams.
What do you guys think about Hutball? Are you looking forward to that? And going back a little bit to what JJ was asking and saying is whenever you go into a new battleground that's nobody knows, there's always going to be that chaos, people trying to figure out what to do, and I think it's going to take a week or so before people start figuring out the strategies and everything. But sometimes that mass chaos is the funnest part. I remember doing Strand back in WoW's beta on a death knight that was pre-made, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to hit things, and so that should be fun. But back to Hutball. Who's looking forward to Hutball?
I do. Yeah, it'd be good. Saturday morning Hutball. I can see it.
Personally, for me, PvP is kind
I
of
got a good friend, some of you know Larry Everett, who writes for...
Uh-oh, someone bringing Larry into this?
Larry is a close personal friend of mine, and he's looking forward to even having a roleplay character just focused on Hutball.
Awesome. Let's see. Bog and Fat said Hutball is similar to an old Team Fortress Classic map called Soccer and the Ball. And I don't remember that one. I played a lot of TFC, but okay, that is a good reference there.
You know, I have a question about the PvP, though.
Sure, if we can answer it.
It would be more... is it, if you hit your own player on your own side, is it like friendly fire? Or is it like no consequence? Because that would be quite a factor if you're going into these battlegrounds and just randomly whacking around. If you hit someone in your own team, their health would go down. Make you think more before you...
As far as I know from everything we've read, I must stress everything we've read, not anything else I might know, there is no friendly fire. So, just like the other MMOs.
From the broad point of view, I don't think an MMO community can handle friendly fire.
Yeah, I would.
Unless you can set it in advance, like this match has friendly fire on, and everybody agrees to it up front. If you have just random groups of people running in battlegrounds and they can kill one another, it's going to be ridiculously entertaining, but it won't be productive at all.
I know. Why would I work with Republic people in Hutball when I can just kill them?
Well, right. There would be griefing beyond griefing, and
oh my God,
it wouldn't be cool.
Silly Republic.
And then the third and final one that's coming out is Alderaan, which is a resource control map. Think of Arathi Basin in WoW, different other maps in different other games. Pretty standard fare. graphics that you can see from the videos online that are already posted. Remember, no NDA breaking, are pretty cool because you got these huge guns that you're trying to control and keep secured so that they take out the enemy ship. And I kind of like the idea because Arathi Basin is a map type structure I like. What about you guys? Patrick disappeared.
I love Arathi Basin, but as per usual, I'm the one who always gets stuck on defense, sitting on a flag because I care
You'd
about
be
the
sitting
greater
on
good.
a large gun.
Well, from what I've seen from the videos from all the people playing them at PAX, at Comic-Con and all that, it looks more like they're a little bit closer together, so if someone needs help, they're just right over there. You don't have to run 5 minutes to go get to them, so it might be easier.
Mm-hmm.
I like the concept visually of if and this was in the video, if you control a node or whatever, the lasers are firing at the enemy ship. And I think that's a neat way, you want to figure out what's going on. You don't look at the farm and say, oh, those sheep are horde sheep, or oh, those sheep are lion sheep. You look up at the sky and say, there's a bunch of lasers flying at my ship, so I should probably go do something about that. And it's a really neat concept.
I'm trying to remember.
Firing my lasers.
I believe it's a 3-point system, so it's not a huge capture point system. But that's going to entail a lot of coordination for folks, because I know one of the hardest things
Hey, Mike, it's 3 points, but did they say anything about time limit? Is it like 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
I believe it is a countdown system like AB. So it depends on who's holding what for that amount of time. The thing I can see is like in AB you've got, was it 5 points? And that can become very difficult, especially in a pug, to coordinate, because you'll get everybody that zergs. Alliance will automatically go to gold mine, stable, and up to lumber mill, while Horde will always go farm and then blacksmith and try to take one of the other two. And then what happens is the zerg then continues to go in a circle, and you get a circle zerg, which nobody's winning, and so unlike that, JJ says she has to a circle zerg. And it happens. They keep chasing their tails around and around, and nobody actually accomplishes anything. Where if you do cap a point and then you stay and defend it, like JJ doesn't like to do, or she gets stuck doing, then you're able to win and do it. So with 3 points, it might be a little bit expedient and moving back and forth. And there's stuff I wish I could say, but I can't.
I think the other two look better. Like more fun.
And we're not sure, but there are possibly going to be more war zones as the expansions and time goes on. But 3 war zones are going to be pretty cool. Asking all the PvPers in the channel and also in the stream, is 3 enough for you at the start? Are you looking for more? Of course, I could.
3's perfect, I think.
Okay.
At the start,
For a new game.
Yeah, at the start, for sure. I'd like to see a large, people are hit or miss on Alterac Valley and WoW. I like it. I mean, the PvE elements or whatever, but the 40-person teams, that's good times for me. I like the more people I can attack, and the more people attack with me, the better I find the battleground experience.
Do we know the numbers for the battlegrounds or for the war zones? Do we have numbers on how many people are
They
in
haven't
each?
released numbers now. I don't know. I don't think they're all that big though, are they? I mean, 3-point capture.
I'm sure if someone paid attention to enough of the screens at the Comic-Cons and all the conventions, you could count it up and see how many. But that's too much for me.
Yeah, I know.
See, this is where I can't keep track of what they release
Exactly.
publicly and what they
That's-
haven't, so I just I don't know.
That's the hard part, because
I can't keep track of what's come publicly, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
I do know that
Right
some
on.
have mentioned, I think Carillion Run podcast, which Carla, she's a friend of mine, one of the things that they have said, because it's out there, is that with the grouping and team system for pre-mades, you can only do 4. So typically it's going to be 8 against 8, but you can only bring in 4. All right, so now
I think
the question I had, because everybody that's been watching this for the last few weeks knows that I like to PvP, but I'm not a PvPer on a PvP server. And one of the things I always found comical was in WoW, when I would go into a PvP war or battleground, typically those from PvE or even RP servers would do better at winning the battlegrounds, because they wouldn't be PvPing, they would actually be doing the objectives of what's going on. How do you guys, those of you that are from PvP servers, what do you think about that? Oftentimes, in my opinion, PvP people get in there and all they do is they want to pick on folks and they forget about the objectives. Am I being oversimplified on this, or do you think there's truth in that?
Before I quit WoW a while back, that was definitely true. I mean, I was on a PvE server, and I never really did a lot of PvP content. But when I'd go into a battleground, I'd be going after objectives, and I'd have just all these PvP people coming in and trying to kill me.
Yeah. Well, I know I came to WoW from Team Fortress Classic and Dave Defeat, so that's the area I came from, and it always frustrated me the first time I went in and did a battleground, is that nobody was fighting on the flag, everybody was in the roads, and I'm like, would you please do what you're supposed to do and cap this flag and defend it, but what are you going to do? So that was one of the main things in the news this week. We probably talked that into the ground. One other news, that I tried to find some stuff. Does anybody have any other news that you saw that was released about TOR this week that we can talk about really quickly?
Companions.
Okay, go ahead. Because there's been so much on those.
They just released a list of all the companions. I don't know where. I've not been following a lot of the fan sites.
See, I think...
Yeah, I've seen Georg say specifically that was an unauthorized list.
Right.
So, I will say that Georg has, in the public portions of the forums in the last week or so, had a few, and I'm sorry, Mike, feel free to cut me off if you have this later on, some things about like Jedi Consular being ranged and not melee.
Yeah, I've got that later, but go ahead, because we're getting right to that point.
Apparently there are some folks who have been, very, I guess, having different expectations about what the difference between the sorcerers, or I guess, Inquisitor / Consular will be versus the Warrior / Knight, and, clarifying that, yeah, you have a lightsaber, you can fight with it, but it's not really going to be your mainstay. That was the other thing that Georg said, and by the way, I love the way he writes publicly because he does not care.
Oh, yeah, Georg's awesome. I've got something to share with later that'll just make you laugh.
And I don't want to steal your thunder, but on you talk about the itemization stuff.
No, I didn't cover that. So what did he say?
Okay, he has people are frustrated about where are you going to get the best items from crafting, from PvP, from ratings, whatever. And his quote, I'm reading it verbatim here, is, "Nobody outside our offices knows the full extent of our in-game itemization plans or planned progression."
Right.
So he just lays it out there. I love the way he posts, and I hope he never, ever changes.
But that we've been talking about, that's the typical thing that happens in any MMO community. People start putting these ideas out there, and everybody wants to pretend that the sky's falling, when in actuality, like Georg finally did, and I appreciate him doing this, because a lot of companies won't even go this far. He said, listen, you don't know what's going on, only the people in my office.
They did go back to that kind of earlier take on the itemization and the mod system, right? Because we had talked in the last show how there's multiple beta servers, and they had tested a modification plan that did not test well. So this next beta has they rolled it back to a more earlier version of that.
Daniel Erickson, I think it was, did say publicly in an interview that they were surprised about the passionate feedback they got on the mod system. I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know what the if any changes will be based on that. I remember that from before. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good stuff.
So really, we're still waiting on a lot of crafting information and companion information, right, Mike? In terms of official channel.
For official, yes. I would suspect we're going to start seeing more information. This is just a hunch that hopefully the next phase starts soon and we'll be able to get some more stuff. And I do hope, as well as others, people are getting very nervous on the interwebs about wanting the NDA released so we can start talking about stuff because it's getting close to that point. And it's going to be harder and harder as we see. There are more and more leaks like this list that was published. This wasn't the only thing. There was something else this week and another couple of things that were released that actually BioWare had to say, guys, this is not official. This is not what's going on. As that happens, it's going to get harder and harder. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, and it picks up speed and momentum.
I think that's particularly true when you have things like the weekend beta tests, where people don't necessarily feel the same need to stick by the NDA that those of us who are the full beta do, because I don't want to lose my beta spot. And if you know you're out after the weekend, you may kind of give up and throw information out there, which is a shame because I think I'm clear in saying that some of the information that's been leaked has not been accurate,
right?
Either because it's already changed or somebody was just making it up at the beginning. And I think that's a big part of BioWare's frustration. Although, honestly, we're getting close, and I think people are getting nervous because it seems like some things just aren't nailed down yet, like the modded crafting systems.
Right. Okay. Well, along with that, in some yellow posts this week, we see here that you'll see if you look at my camera if it comes up. I don't know. Allison Berryman posted about the NDA and trying to clear up some stuff. I'm going to read it here. In order to be selected for testing, you have to opt in and agree to the game testing agreement. Pre-ordering the game, however, does not require agreeing to the game testing agreement. The agreement only binds testers and those who have opted in to be selected for testing. So we were just talking about this. Just because you pre-order does not mean you signed an NDA. But if you do accept the beta invitation, which is part of the process, you have to follow a link. You then agree to the non-disclosure agreement. At that time, you are bound. But she goes on to say, this is where I think they're having to put out some of these fires. She says, it is not necessarily to agree to the game testing agreement to participate on the forums, but the rules of conduct, which everyone must adhere to, do state that posting, linking, quoting, reproducing, or discussing confidential information from the game testing program is prohibited on the forums. Even if you did not agree to the game testing agreement, meaning you didn't opt in to be selected for testing, the discussion of confidential information is not permitted on the forums. Hopefully that clears up any misunderstanding.
I don't know, are there really misunderstandings, or is it just people don't care? You know what I mean? Like, how many people breaking the NDA are like, oh, really? I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that.
I think it's both.
Yeah? I'm much more cynical than you are.
No, I'm with you, Eric. I think it's people not caring with the NDA. I mean, I spend a lot of time on Reddit, and people there just seriously do not care about the NDA. I'm happy when people are talking about things like there was a great thread recently on role-playing Sith, and that was awesome. But yeah, people there just don't care about the NDA.
It's hard. I got in a discussion, or I got in a little quick flame toss back and forth on Twitter once about a guy who said nobody cares about the NDA, and I said, yes, some of us actually do. One thing is that BioWare has suspended people's accounts for breaking NDA. Now, I'm not sure how far-reaching that will go, but I would hate to pre-order the game, register my account, go and accidentally break NDA or do it on purpose, have them suspend my account, and not be able to play the game. That would suck.
Yeah.
So,
come up with a fake identity to play the game.
Yeah.
Incognito mode.
Well, especially since we don't know how far-reaching that is. Like, if they ban your or suspend your Star Wars account, does it affect your Origin account or anything like that? So, I mean, there could be other far-reaching consequences.
That's right. And for me, I'm not willing to test those limits. I want to play this game.
No. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're not going to be swinging the ban hammer like Thor. You know what I mean? If they ban people, it's because those people have definitely, they broke the NDA. They knew they were breaking the NDA. They broke it in a bad way. They're not going to ban the swing of the ban hammer just because somebody said, they're cool. I didn't want to say anything that would break the NDA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they worry about somebody slipping up and accidentally mentioning the name of one companion that hasn't been released. I've seen some folks that I'm confident got banned for their releases. And we would just take it seriously because, we kind of, for regions outside of TOR are used to dealing with NDAs and discretion and so forth, or, for whatever reason, professional or personal. And it's just one more thing to, keep our mouths shut about until the time is right.
Well, and we have seen whole guilds being banned as well. I'm not sure about individual characters, but the guild and a few folks have been banned from the official forums because of basically cyberbullying and being trolls. So they do some. They do.
Is it Goon Squad?
Not in beta.
What's that?
I'm not in beta.
I was. I keep hoping for my next weekend.
Welcome to the Not in Beta Club.
No, it wasn't Goon Squad. It was somebody else. As a matter of fact, I think Goon Squad's been very quiet. I'm not sure about their profile in this game, to tell you the truth. I've not heard anything. All right.
I know Goon Squad's coming.
Oh, of course.
But I don't know really when or what server or whatever, what they're choosing to play on.
Okay, and then we have another.
They've been very quiet.
We have, I think we mentioned this already, another one. This is interesting. When I put these slides together, the notes together, I did them yesterday, and even today I was checking the dev tracker, and all of a sudden some post came in between and interweaved in the post I had already seen. But Georg Zoller goes on about and answers a question about force pull for sages. He says sages also get access to a rescue, a friendly pull with accompanying threat reduction, not just useful for pulling out your friend when you get themselves into too much trouble. Also quite nice for quick vertical play and Hutball. So a system where you can then pull somebody out of the fire. Don't stand in the fire. Hey, idiot. So, anybody plan on playing a sage?
Get out of the bar.
A healings.
That's supposed to work really good in Hutball.
Yeah, that there's some interesting mechanics there if you can get it pulled off.
The push and pull.
See, you're just barely holding on to that NDA there.
Well, no, this is all speculation. Just think, if you got the ball and you're a Juggernaut or you're a Jedi Knight or the other one on the other side. I know, I suck. I don't know all the Empire stuff that well. And you're this close to the end zone and there's an enemy player there. You target them and you jump at them. Then you cap. Hey, wins for me.
It almost seems a little broken because I think I've seen in some of the convention videos where they can jump from one floor to the other just because somebody's up there, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Well, didn't you watch the Battle of the Fates, Phantom Menace fight? They were jumping all over levels, man.
Oh, we're not going to talk about Phantom Menace.
That's perfect Jedi course right there. How many floors can you flip over? 12?
Let's see here.
Sorry.
That's all right. Some other things on the dev tracker right now. Let's see. More complaints and people confused in the UK about the time. Stephen Reid confirms that the release date has not changed, despite what some other folks might be telling you. We are getting an extended maintenance on the 2nd. Interesting.
Ooh.
Those of us that are in the beta are anticipating something for this. Maybe we'll get a chance to see something new and shiny. What else is in here? The mage or the sage mage. Wow. Stop talking about WoW. The sage in melee combat. This is and you had just mentioned this too, Kyle. Georg says that if you're going to be a sage and in melee combat against somebody like a dual-wielding melee person, you're probably going to die. But there's some ways around that, so I love his candor in that. But not a lot going on news-wise that way this week. What other yellow posts or related items have you guys seen that are of importance to the community, since this is all about the community, building up a great TOR community? Yeah.
Well, Darth Vader right now on the main page has a post about the fan site summit that's being hosted the 6th of November. And they got a list of all the fan sites that will be attending. That'd be an awesome thing to go to. I wish I'd started fan sites 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It's so it's 2 months from launch. BioWare is hosting the fan site summit at Austin, November 6th through the 8th. Darth Vader is participating in the event and will once again provide in-depth coverage of it. Let's see, they say who's going to be attending. The following fan sites are attending: Ask a Jedi, Corellium on Radio, Force Junkies, Mos Eisley Radio, TOR Talk, TOR Wars, SWTOR RP, and Red Rancor. So that'd be
Torcast will be there too.
Torcast? Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of folks going to be there.
There'll be some cool information coming out of that.
There should be.
Wish I could drive down for it. I got too many friends who are going to be there. It's only 3 hours away from me.
Nothing's near me here in Northern California, so. Yeah.
I wonder if at some point they're going to have like a biocon or similar.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. We would love that. We had all kinds of cool names.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
It would be awesome.
Sean,
You would think with this and Mass Effect 3 coming out next year, and some of the other things that they've got happening, and if anybody believes that this is the last MMO they're doing, I think you're fooling yourself. Then I think they've got to have some folks in there planning something.
and it would be a big show. It would, because there's a lot of folks out there in BioWare's camp.
I would love it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be awesome, Lewis. Willow MMO.
And
The
Mass
thing
Effect
is,
Online, baby.
Mass Effect or Star Wars? I mean, I can't split my time between both. I have
Star
to
Wars
pick
for me.
one.
I love you guys. I would be out for Mass Effect like that. Wouldn't even
Really?
have to think about it.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't go there.
Oh, you can leave and come back anytime. It's always there,
No.
For
I just don't
years.
see them releasing another MMO anytime soon. Not with,
Willow MMO for the witch.
We
Oh no, it's SWTOR for me all the way.
yeah, same here.
Or what about a Dragon Age MMO? Oh my god.
No.
I love that.
State Empire.
Some Zevron action.
Ooh.
Okay, we started a new forum on the interwebs using Google because everybody knows I'm a Google fanboy, and they are overlords besides BioWare. And so I put up a forum where people can submit a question that they want covered, and so far it's not taken off a lot. I think people are scared of it. They just get buried. I have 2 questions to go over. The first one was by Gary, who's not here. Gary and Dave and a few of the other regulars aren't here. Plus, we're going to try to rotate folks in. That's why we're doing this. Try to get in on Wednesday and leave spots open for new folks type deal to try to get more people in here. His question is, the nature of Mike's beard. Does it have designs to rule the world? Is Mike's beard a Sith? Now, if you remember, when we started the whole beard discussion and the launch beard that's going on in the BioWare headquarters, and a lot of us said, yes, we're going to do beards, and I was vetoed. Well, if you notice... Yeah, so we'll see about that. But no, my beard is...
I got my launch beard.
That was a shadow.
My beard is not a Sith. It is...
What is
It's Republic.
Does that soul patch count?
My launch beard.
Your launch beard.
Yeah.
That's a cat.
No, this is not a cat. This is a beard.
I have nothing.
Another question. Yeah, we almost blew that one. There you go. You got a mustache. Another question is from Han Gwyn Lee, and I'm going to screw up names every time. Sorry, guys. Do all the classes, professions in SWTOR get to acquire a spaceship or not all? The answer is every class gets a ship. Period.
That'd be kind of silly if
but
like one
everybody
class
gets
didn't get a ship.
Everybody gets a ship. So
I think
But Imperial Agent gets stolen.
who does?
Imperial Agent.
Yeah, they get a sexy ship.
Nah, I like the Jedi one. The Defender's
your
awesome.
little Jedi Corvette thing that's all clunky.
It's awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
God. I mean, at least the Sith Inquisitor one is like functional. It actually looks intimidating, like it could really kill you. Yours looks like you're picking up the kids after soccer.
have they shown the trooper ship yet?
Yes.
Yeah, they've shown all the ships.
Yeah.
Oh God, the trooper ship.
You don't like it either?
It looks like, huh?
I'm not a fan of it. It's too stark and militaristic for me, which is fine if you want to play that
funny how that
character.
works.
It looks like a V-wing and a Y-wing mated and had an ugly child.
Maybe that's what that VIP stores up to.
Oh, that's a good idea.
What's going to go in there?
That'd be pretty cool. But, I mean, they said it's all cosmetics, so it might just change the skin.
I'm tired of the smuggler's ship always looking like the Millennium Falcon. Doesn't matter what Star Wars universe you're in, everything always looks like the Millennium
Blasphemy.
Falcon.
It looks like a YT-1300. Well, I mean, they all come from that base model.
It looks like the Ebon Hawk.
Maybe you can upgrade or mod it to look different.
All right, Dave asked. He didn't get this one in the forum.
Oh,
go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, I hope you can do some decoration in your ship and maybe add some mods and so to it to make it look a bit different.
Dress it up for Life Day.
Would be great.
Yeah. Plus, you can invite your friends over.
Dave submitted a couple questions to me. He said, here's a couple good talking points. Sith Race playable for the Inquisitor. Sounds like it's official via the Republic. Stephen Reid broke the news. This goes against lead writer Daniel Erickson's wishes. What do you guys think about that? The background is the Sith Inquisitor starts their story as a slave. For the Sith race to be a slave...
Like you're talking about the purebloods, right?
Yes, the specific Sith race. And so the Inquisitor is supposed to be... They're a slave and they're breaking free and finding who they are type thing. So what do you guys think about this? Evidently it is really creating a lot of issues.
This.
Okay, fix it. Go for it.
I can fix it. All right, so essentially in the Sith hierarchy with... especially the purebloods, if you are not force sensitive, you are trash. Even with the purebloods, if you aren't force sensitive, you are in the slave caste. You are nothing. No one knows about you. It's kind of like the casteless dwarves in Orzammar in Dragon Age. You're nothing. And so, if you look, the characters have aged quite a bit. They're not young anymore, so, I mean...
Okay.
You could say that your character had latent force powers, and then when you're off being a slave somewhere, something happens and you suddenly have force powers, and it's like, oh shit, this slave now has force powers. Sith Inquisitor.
Isn't that the same as Darth Bane, though, anyways? He was a lowly miner in Kessel, right? Or no, what was his story? And, he broke through and made it to the Sith Academy, so I mean, it can happen.
Sorry, reading chat, and I'm getting all distracted everywhere.
Yeah, so I think this pure blood being a slave, I think that's fine.
No, I do think there is a little bit of the lore princess in me that says, okay, can we just have a line in the sand where True Bloods are going to be Sith warriors if you're going to play a True Blood?
Oh, and that would be the problem,
so there
though.
is a part of me that... Go ahead.
That would be a problem, though, because if you restricted it like that, it's almost like racials that benefit... abilities, and I'm glad they didn't do that. It's another thing to talk about. But you know, if that were the case, everybody would all be Sith. Anyway, I don't know. So go ahead.
Well, they already have racial restrictions. Not every race is going to be every class. So as long as they've got some variety, I don't think the list is final yet. Not only do I not think, I know we obviously all know it's not released yet, but I don't even think the actual list of what will be in at launch is final yet. Even for those of us who are in the beta. So I'm
right, and for those of us in the beta, and this isn't breaking NDA, how many of us are waiting for the next build, and the first thing we do when we log in is check the races and hairstyles and all of the other things.
Both of mine better be there. I'm playing Sith Pureblood, so as long as that's in there.
Okay, and...
I tend to play the blindies.
Along with race.
I play the pretty ones.
So
no
do I.
Along with
no ones with no purebloods with the skin tags hanging off there.
Yeah, some awesome stuff.
But I think the argument could be made that there was a line in the sand that they could have just said, hey, look, if you're a pureblood, you're a Sith warrior. You're not going to play through a storyline as a slave, or they could have adjusted the Inquisitor's storyline for True Bloods, but technically that would have taken too long. So it was better to just let it go. And
that probably would have extended the game well past this year.
Yeah, because remember, anytime they want to add any of this stuff, unless they've already got it pre-voiced and recorded in the can, like people are already asking the forums about the possibility of new races and stuff. Anytime they add a race, they've got to go back and revoice and do everything with the VOs from level 1 on.
Oh wait, I thought I thought the voiceovers were class specific, not race specific.
Well, the voiceovers were class and gender specific only.
Okay, thank you. That you just corrected me because that is good. I hadn't put those two pieces together. You're right. You are right.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, now that I think of it.
Very good point.
I hope they changed the running animation of the Jedi Counselor because I wasn't too. It kind of looked a little fruity. I thought, kind of.
I will say that the running animation of all females looks terrible. You got Jennifer Hale, this awesome woman, voicing the female trooper, and she's running with an assault cannon, and she runs all dainty, and this makes no sense to me.
I know
she could kick all our asses.
Hey, but I'll say the running and walking animations in this game beat Lotro's any day, especially the walking. I still think Lotro walking animations, it looks like everybody's got a stick stuck up their rear.
I hope there's more than one dance than what I've seen from the conventions. I've seen this one where they're like this. I'm like, give me more.
Microtransaction. No, I'm.
How about the sprinting? Does everyone sprint the same way?
You just go fast. It's like putting on new tennis shoes.
Wait, let me pump up my Nikes.
Another thing that Dave asked, he says, is anyone actually thinking about getting any of the new hardware add-ons for SWTOR, like the ones from Razer? And I was going to play the video, but I don't want to crash my system again. They've got a pretty nice line of keyboards, mouse, and headset that you can get either Republic or Sith side. Anybody plan on doing that?
I am.
No.
I already looked up to see when I can make a pre-order of the stuff, but there is nothing.
How much
out
is
yet.
that?
I don't know. There is no prices, but I don't give a shit.
They say
Sorry,
that they
but-
come out the day the game comes out, so we've been waiting for these things for a while.
I'd have to admit the keyboard looks kind of nice. It looks like the keyboard they've got on Razer's new gaming laptop, which is interesting with that little panel thing.
Yeah.
But I already got
a Razer keyboard, but
I've already got this baby, so
Oh man, this gear is awesome.
Is that a Naga?
that's the Epic, yeah, Naga Epic that I actually don't use the thumb for. I'm lame. But anyway, that's cool. Now, going back to the race question, I've labeled this BioWare Dev G+ Ponage of the Week post. We have a few BioWare guys that are really active in G+, and I love that. And everybody encourage them to continue to do that. I wish we could get a few more of them. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and send out some invites and see if they'll actually join the Hangout in a couple weeks. But this week, we had a very special post. I was submitting a question about this forum that everybody saw about going ahead and asking questions like, what would you like for us to cover? Gary added the question about my beard. Then Georg chimes in. He says, under which conditions should BioWare consider making Gungans a playable race?
Oh, no.
Never.
Just kidding, really. Ignore my reply. Then Gary replies to Georg. He says, I'd say after TOR has been out for 6 years, and there was an April Fool's joke about Gungans as a playable race at year 4, and then whitelist, or wishlist. And then Georg comes back with the epic response, Mists of Naboo.
I think it would actually be Pawns of Naboo.
Isn't that epic? Thank you, Georg. You make us
But I
laugh.
think Daniel was talking about, there was a question at the New York Comic Con about, playing a Wookiee or playing something like that, and they're like, Well, the whole point of the MMO of TOR was that there's not going to be a character that has no voice actor attached to it. And so you couldn't play a Wookiee because it'd be all subtitles and noise.
Hey, didn't JJ say she could do a Wookiee impersonation? There you go.
There we go.
I have Melissa as a voice actress.
So, I've had this discussion with friends about, a Jawa playable race, or a Wookiee, or a Gungan, and it's like, well, you have to make it so that, one, you have some kind of connection to that character. And you can't do that, and thank God BioWare is smart about this, that you can't really do that with a Jawa or a Wookiee. And heaven help me if I hear Misa. Just saying.
God.
I hope they implement, the ability to play as a robot, a mechanical. I mean, imagine to do a copy of IG-88, go out as a bounty hunter. That would be so awesome.
Some people would like that. I don't have a desire to play a droid. I'm lame. I'm going to play a human anyway, so everybody can laugh at me.
I'm playing human too.
Okay, we're lame.
Is on the
Not
Empire?
lame. I just don't want clipping issues.
In the Imperial side, isn't there a cyborg?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I can't answer that question on the grounds that I don't want to get banned from the game forever.
I'm not in the game. I've just read somewhere.
Look at distraction.
Look at this. In Mass Effect. No.
By the way, I know BioWare already knows that this is, I guess, technically a small NDA violation, but they don't really care. So I have a 7-year-old daughter who, I have a couple of kids. My 7-year-old daughter comes in and sees me when I'm playing the beta, and she walks up and the very first thing she says is, "Daddy, is that Mass Effect?" And I said, "No, why do you... No, this is the Star Wars game." She goes, and this is a 7-year-old's words, "It must have been illustrated by the same guy because it looks just the same."
Very perceptive.
So, well.
All right. Well, that's. Anybody else have any other cool things you've seen by devs in Google Plus posted or anything like that you want to share real quickly before we do the guild pimpage and other stuff?
Yep. I have one from George Seller. He made a post that I'm going to try to find, but it was a really good one. Hold on a bit.
Okay.
I just need to find it.
Well, while you're finding that, one thing I saw in the dev tracker that I can't even believe that people even had the audacity to question is, can we carry over beta characters to the real game? And I'm like,
it never
what?
ends.
What's wrong with you?
I will say...
has had that question, and I don't understand why people think that that's a possibility.
Let me mute for the train.
I love Gail's responses. We can't quote him here, but he knows that I've said publicly, as forthright as he is on the regular public forums, oh my gosh, on the beta forums, he says exactly what he's thinking, including in response to less than insightful questions like those.
Nice. Looks like Patrick found what he wanted.
Yep, hold on. I do it easier. I'm gonna read it.
Your screen's going nuts.
I know.
Oh God.
But yeah.
That was cool.
I got it. Okay, I'm gonna read it. Okay, this is what your Solar wrote, and it's 3 circles for the Java engineers under the two suns. 7 for the Ortholans in their halls of ice. 9 for Shirka agents trained to slice. 1 for the large hut on his barge so nice. 1 for the planet of Hutta where the agents die. 1 circle to rule them all. 1 circle to find them. 1 circle to bring them all. For the Empire bind them. On the planet of Hutta, where the swamp flies fly.
That's nice. I did see that earlier.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I did a repost of it, but it was a nice one.
Well, the one thing
I got a question.
Sure.
Is anybody working on guild alliances, and how do you feel about that as an important thing to work on, and how it fits into the game? As you see it.
Genesis is working a lot. It's funny. We have more of a relationship with our adversaries than we have. We don't have any allies, and we have a better relationship with our adversaries. So we're trying to
go better.
Yeah, we're trying to work much harder and keep like a small community for ourselves and such. That way we can, once we get into the game, we're still very friendly towards each other, and we can work towards equal goals.
We have one alliance, and mainly it's with a guild that has one guy in it that's a good friend of mine, and I'm probably trying to get him into our guild so we don't have to have that. Because his guild master has not replied to me or responded to me. And anyway, I think as we get closer, that's going to become something to look at more strong. As a matter of fact, I have plans, and I haven't even told my officers yet, which they'll probably freak out, saying I want to start putting out their feelers for groups that want to join us and maybe alliance with us. Because the great thing about the system is if they're in the same server type and time zone, there's a very, very good chance that you'll all end up on the same server when they pre-roll the guilds, which is a cool system that we're all still trying to figure out. So we have time. I mean, I just pulled up our timer: 49 days, 6 hours, 29 minutes, and 13 seconds. It's less than 60.
It's less for early access, right?
No, that's for release. We don't have an early access date yet, so it's even less.
Didn't they say it was going to be 5 days?
There's been no confirmation on exactly when or how long.
Yeah, they discussed a bunch of different things, or people have discussed a bunch of different things. There's been anything officially released.
Yeah, no, I haven't even seen anything. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't think they've said anything to anybody outside of BioWare about it.
Yeah, I don't think
but you guys got to think about this. If we have about 600,000 to 700,000 pre-orders, okay, is BioWare going to allow 700,000 people to create accounts, log in on December 20th? So it makes sense that they come up with some formula like 100,000 a day. And backtrack.
Johnny,
and say,
I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear you.
12:20, they'll let 100,000 players in at a time. I mean, they've got to come up with a plan. I can't imagine them just letting everyone in at once.
Well, that's a good question.
There was something said publicly in one of the recent investor calls.
Right.
Mark, I don't know if you caught this. And I don't know if it was a slip, like they released something that they didn't mean to, or if just the market/investor relations person didn't really know what they were talking about. I kind of lean towards that, and I'll explain why. But they said that they were going to have hundreds of thousands of players in the beta. I think that was referring to the early release bits, and that we can expect possibly, this is my speculation, a little bit of roughness, a little bit of difficulty in those first few days before the actual launch day. Because again, this was given towards investors and not the general game playing public. These are people who don't really care about that piece. So I think they made that slip, but I don't think they're really going to have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people in advance.
So you think they're going to wait until December 20th to let in 700,000 players?
No, not December 20th. December 13th or whatever.
I'm interested to see how many they can handle at launch. It's going to be pretty huge.
They're going to have to stagger the entrance. Like, they're going to have to let people in 100,000 chunks or something.
Well, they are. I mean, early access isn't just one day.
Yeah, here we are breaking the internet with Google Plus. Imagine what it's going to be like with them.
But I don't know if they can really limit the number of people that can connect on early access just because they promised early access to people that pre-ordered the game. And
right, they never promised how much early access, and they never said that.
And they said specifically that people would get early access in the order in which they registered.
I understood it was going to be in order of registration.
That's true. That was there.
I registered day 2.
I registered 3 hours after they sent the email announcing the release date, or the pre-release.
Well, I know that there was a lot of speculation, discussion about that even on Google Plus this week, that folks were worried about how crowded it would be and if they were going to stagger releases too. So I think it's going to be fine. We've talked about this before with how we come in with the registration on our pre-order. how's that going to work with our guilds and forming those up if your guild master doesn't get in until like day 2 before the game launches. But we'll all deal with that when it happens. I'm not going to be too worried about it.
What I'm wondering about is if they're going to do phasing in the starting world, because I remember hearing about this a little while ago, where they had said that they were trying phasing and it'll help ease the process of everyone being in the same place at the same time.
You killed my rats!
I think they're going to have more to say about that later.
Yeah, I think they will have more, because I don't think it's been out there.
They've talked about some of it, but not all of it, and I don't remember which bits are which, so I'm just going to leave it there. But they have said there is something that they'll be doing.
It won't be too much of a problem, let's put it that way.
Maybe they will do like with the Rift release, that they will do beta events and increase the server population over time in the beta tests, and then see how it works out. And phasing, I believe they will do phasing. They have it in Rift, they have it in World of Warcraft. It's very easy to implement.
Well, we have to be careful, because unfortunately, when WoW implemented phasing, we get a differentiation in the term between different MMO genres and platforms. There's a difference between phasing and instancing. So I'll let you choose the latter. And thinking phasing, to me and to a lot that come from WoW, is actually where the scenery and everything changes there. Where instancing, of course, is having a different instance of, let's say, the origin planet or something like that. And there's a lot of different ways to handle it.
An example of that is Star Trek Online had instances, like one server, and everybody was instanced. So you could have everybody on the home on Earth or the home star base or whatever. And you'd have like 20,000 people there, but they'd be broken up into like chunks of 500 people. So you'd only have to see 499 of the people around you, even though there were 20,000 people there. Right. And I'm just picking numbers out of my butt.
When you think phasing, think the free-to-play model where they do various channels for. I mean, that's how I interpret phasing, is they break people up into small groups over various channels that you can swap.
Which is a proper way to.
Lotro does that.
It's a proper way to think about it. Unfortunately, when you have a large number of folks coming from WoW, it doesn't mean that. It has a different connotation, because you're actually in the same phase, instanced-wise, but you're actually phased and you can't see the person next to you.
Well, you know what? They're going to have to get used to it, because we're using totally different words. I mean, ops, flashpoints.
That's right.
Operations.
Warzones.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. I want to go ahead and give us a chance for everybody to be able to pimp their guilds. If you would go ahead and do so, if you could actually, paste the guild in the Twitch chat. Andy's over there. He made it into the chat. He wasn't able to be in the actual hangout this evening. We'll grab those and we'll make sure that those go on the list so that we can let folks know who you are and what you're going. So who would like to talk about their guild real quickly and let folks know what you're doing and how you're playing?
I'm guildless. Woohoo!
I'm also guildless and actively looking for an Imperial roleplay guild.
See, my problem is that I'm Republic. I'm going to be Republic, and most people are going Sith that I know.
Yeah. Join the allies, the adversaries of my guild.
I'm looking for an RP-PvP.
Yeah, they're Republic.
And I mean, RP-PvP on Republic seems very uncommon.
I see a lot of people saying I'm going to be a Sith Inquisitor, and I'm like, really? There's going to be about 10,000 of you all over.
Yeah, they're the Night Elf.
I'll still be better than you.
Concealment operative agent. That's the way to go.
Republic mercenary.
The mercenary is a bounty hunter.
I'm sorry, Republic commando.
Oh,
My bad. If I was to play Imperial, it'd be a mercenary.
All right. Anybody else?
Well, Mike, I'll go ahead and I'll pin my build. So I'm Johnny. I'm from SithVengeance.com, and we're a PvE East Coast guild, but we are letting in anyone that wants to play. We're looking for predominantly bounty hunters and Imperial agents. Seems everyone wants to play Sith Warrior and Sith Inquisitor. We have about 6 members now, and we would love to have you join us. SithVengeance.com.
I guess most of us were hoping you get into the beta, right? By talking the guild together, we ended up with about 20 people.
What's going on? We got
And
two
we're
audio
hoping to launch
people
about
going.
25 solid ones, and we're going to play a few games, a few free-to-play games in the next few weeks to get to know each other, and we're going to play DDO this Saturday. So anyway, it was good.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we've got some lag issues happening. It's causing folks to step on each other. It's okay. We'll get it sorted out. Thank you, Google. Yeah, Andy says, don't cross the streams.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, we got that, Johnny, and we got that, Don. Thank you, guys. Anybody else?
Me.
Go, Melissa.
I am the Sith Inquistor captain of the guild Genesis, Genesis. We are at genesis-tor.engine.com. We are very casual. It may look like we have 200 and whatever people, but I'm telling you, we only have about half as much who are active, so join us. We're Imperial, West Coast, PvE mostly, and I'm going to be dragging those guys through the trenches into operations.
Hold on, we got links hitting our Twitch TV feed that's getting truncated and deleted, so...
Yeah, you need a short.
So
Yeah.
many technical difficulties.
Guys, in the chat room over there, if you go ahead and go to goo.gl, go ahead and shorten that link up, and then it'll work. We want to make sure you guys all get out there. I'm Mike. I'm with Guild Redeemed. We're actually we are an PvE guild, Republic side. We're getting close to the point where we're cutting off our open recruitment, except for friends and family. So if you're looking for a group that plays on an RP server but is PvE focused but open to RP, the Republic side, come join us. We'd love to have you. Do it quick. JJ, were you going to say something?
Oh,
Hey, Mike.
I'm still looking for RP, PvP, Pacific Coast time zone guild for the my Imperial agent. And I'm looking for an adult guild, 18 over.
We're 20 and over, so no.
With dirty
Hey,
jokes.
dude, when you find one, please let me know. I'd like to look at it. I'm looking hard.
Same time?
I'm
I'd like to go
I'm-
to Sith Vengeance, but the East Coast time I don't think is going to work out for me. So
Come to Genesis!
I want
Central Time,
I
so
want
I'm in
PvP
between.
though.
Half of us will PvP. We have like 100 people.
Yeah, but you're not going to roleplay.
There we go, Lord Raster. That hit. We can get that. All right. So did everybody get a chance to pimp your guild? All right.
Come to the Katazi. We'll bump you up.
Again, I want to say the reason we're doing these hangouts is for a couple reasons. First of all, it's Google Plus. It's awesome. If you're not on Google Plus yet, guys in the stream, everybody in here in the chat room is, or in the roundtable is. Come on, get on there. We got a great community already started. I know a lot of you are on Twitter and all that. That's fantastic. But come join us over here. We don't have a 140 character limit. We can really link some great stuff. The reason we're doing this is to build the SWTOR community. That's what it's all about. Many of us who have been in these hangouts come from other MMOs. We come from ones that have some really bad communities and give them a really bad name. We don't want that to happen for SWTOR. We want this to be the best game launch, and we want the best community it is. So that's why we're doing this. We share on Google+. We do these hangouts, and it's all about building each other up and having a resource for folks out there. So thanks for coming out and listening. We'll get this thing posted on YouTube as well so the folks that weren't here could see it.
Hey, Mike, can I do a shout-out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick shout out to Dark Council, Sith Vengeance, Zoloff, Kabul, Dark Space, Pinocchio. What's up?
All right. I'm actually beyond the 5-minute warning for dinner. This is a typical part of the program. But I want
Shout out to ToroCast.
Shout out to ToroCast. Yeah, everybody. We're glad that you guys are all here. Come back next week. I will post the sign up on Wednesdays, so that you guys can start getting ready to get spots for next week's. And it won't be Halloween, so there might be more folks around. We have 14 people sitting in the stream, and we've had a full channel here all night. So really great, and it's great to have you guys here. So thank you again. You all have a wonderful evening and be safe out there.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice meeting y'all.
Get struck by lightning.
Really?
Sith lightning, that is.